Hey, how are you? So The Penguin is officially concluded after an incredible first season on HBO. So here's how I think Oz's story will progress through future installments in this universe, especially in the Batman Part 2 and Batman Part 3. So let's get into it. So first of all, giving my quick review, my quick thoughts on The Penguin on this first season. I truly believe that this is one of the best shows to release in 2024. From episode 1 to episode 8, I was invested in every single storyline that was in this season, from Oz's story to Vic's story and background, to Sophia's story and background as well. So this show took what we briefly saw in the Batman from the Iceberg Lounge to everything around Penguin's world and just expanded on that in every episode and slowly showed Oz's rise to power in the underground drug world part of Gotham. And speaking of Gotham City, it was pretty cool to see Gotham City in a new light, especially in daytime, which is something we've not seen a lot in the Batman. So it was cool to see Gotham in other parts, in other sections of the city, in stuff that we didn't see as much in the Batman film. Now, let's talk about the main actor in this show, Colin Farrell. This man acts his ass off underneath all that prosthetic makeup and everything, and he absolutely looks unrecognizable under that. He is incredible in this role, but it's the dedication that he takes to play this character, from the hours of prosthetic makeup that is applied every single day of filming just for him to look the part. But it's not also just that, it's his appearance obviously, but his body language and way of speech. Oz has this interesting accent throughout the series, along with his mother and his brothers.
It's like the voice Spanish I have heard.
What?
It's la rata. What is this, Riddler, stupid or something? Jesus, look at you two. World's greatest detectives. Am I the only one here knows the difference between L and la? Jesus. No habla español, fellas?
Do me a favor, shithead. Shut up.
And in the show, pretty much, throughout the majority of the show, he always walks around with the limp. So just to see that sort of humor with him basically walking like a penguin. And even though that Oz is a villain, he normally is a villain in the show, in the movie, and in the comics, throughout the episodes, especially the early episodes, we've got motives to, sympathize with Oz and stuff, especially showing him and his love for his mother. Love? Yeah, by the way, this video will include spoilers for the Penguin, so if you haven't watched the Penguin, go and watch that, and then come in back into the video, because I will talk spoilers of the show. Another thing that kept me invested throughout this whole show was the side characters, especially Vic, which was Oz's partner throughout the show, that he unfortunately killed in the last episode, in the last 5-10 minutes. So I'm gonna need Batman to absolutely crash on Penguin in the second movie. Now, the major standout of this show, surprisingly, was Sophia Falcone, or Gigante, as she goes by the final episode of the season. Now, she was one of those characters that I've heard of a bit of, especially in the Batman Along Halloween. So obviously Carmine Falcone's daughter, but she wasn't really a character I was much interested in when the show was announced and she was revealed to be a character in the show, especially the main antagonist of the series. But throughout the show, you got motives and reasons for everything she does throughout the show. Episode, I think 4, is basically just focused on everything that has happened to her in the past, with Carmine Falcone strangling women, which is something we saw in the Batman, and basically pinning every single murder he did on Sophia, his daughter. So, and seeing how those events led to what Sophia is today. Her going to Arkham and being there for over 10 years, and then getting out and going after Penguin for revenge and everything, after Carmine Falcone died in the Batman. Okay, but enough positivity. Let's get on to some things that have really rubbed me the wrong way throughout watching the Penguin. It's not huge stuff, but still, they bugged me out a bit. Now, so one of those things is how they approached Salvatore Maroni's death. They got Clancy Brown to play Salvatore Maroni, which is a way too good casting, and the reason they killed him off felt emptying to me. because they've been setting up Salvatore Maroni as this big mob boss who was caught for a huge drug operation a couple years ago in Gotham, which is something we saw and got hints of in the Batman. And in this show, when Salvatore got out of prison, he started working with Sophia Falcone. This partnership had the objective of killing Oz and then regaining power over the drug operations in Gotham. Then, I think in episode 5 or episode 6, Salvatore Maroni finds the Penguin's drug operation. And then a couple scenes later, he and Oz are going, right at it, mano a mano. They're just punching each other and everything, they're just fighting. But then, at a certain point, when Salvatore Maroni clearly has the upper hand on Oz, and if nothing had happened, Oz would pretty much be dead about this point. Salvatore had a heart attack, I think, and died, right there and then. And Oz, after that, started convincing himself that he killed him and everything after shooting him a couple times in the chest. So, I don't like how they approached his death, especially with how much impact Salvatore Maroni has over the drug operations and the people of Gotham, period. So, that was definitely one of the issues. Another big issue, which I think is the most common one, which one the people are talking most about, is the absence of Batman or Batman references. Clearly, this show is a spinoff of the Batman. After the events of the Batman, people started seeing Batman in a new light. By the start of the Batman, he was this terrifying, almost monster that was hunting people in the night, where pretty much everyone, as soon as the Batwing went on the sky, everyone was terrified and started doing their crimes due to fear. As he said himself in the open monologue, fear is a tool. So basically, Batman used fear to scare away criminals, and yeah. But by the end of it, we saw Batman help people after the flooding and everything, and people saw Bruce and Batman in a new light, along with Bruce himself, saying that vengeance is not the path that he should be taking, and he should be focused on helping people instead of just getting vengeance after what happened with his parents when he was a kid. So after those events of the Batman, with the whole flooding and Batman saving pretty much everyone, the absence of Batman references bugged me out, because there could be like references, Oz walking around the streets of Gotham, and some people talking, what about the Bat Freak or something like that Arkham Knight commentary that sometimes you hear when you're just gliding around the city. We see some criminals like talking about Batman and stuff. That could have been really cool. Maybe Oz referencing, that Bat Freak who hit me over with a car. Maybe even being the cause of his limping, because it definitely was the car crash that caused Penguin to be limping so hard. Definitely. The way that Batman hit him in the back, that sounded weird.
What do you mean by that?
In that scene, definitely a reason for why he's limping, and somehow how he's not dead. But yeah. But in the end, we did get a Batman reference with Oz now getting power over sort of getting onto politics and probably now becoming the mayor of Gotham. We saw then in the background of Gotham, the Batman lining up. Basically just the only sort of mention of Batman that we've had throughout the whole show. Now, enough Penguin talk. Let's get on to how it may set up the Batman Part 2. So as I've said before, this video will contain spoilers from this point out, so be advised. So the Penguin finale set up Oz now becoming the king of Gotham, basically in the political world, where he's now working in courtrooms and everything, and basically getting power on higher levels. And in one of the final shots of Oz in this episode, it was him after getting out of the courtroom, looking up at Bel-Real, sort of being metaphorical with this scene. Oz looking up at someone with higher power, basically setting up Oz maybe running for president, or not president, mayor of Gotham. And Colin Farrell has recently confirmed and announced that he's originally signed on to the Batman Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. And he has confirmed that he heard that he will be in 5 to 6 scenes of the Batman Part 2. So we're probably going to get some stuff regarding onto this ending. It's obvious that Oz won't be the main villain, especially with the number of scenes we will be getting. But he will definitely have a sort of presence in the background of the film, sort of how Riddler sort of had a presence behind everything in the film, but he wasn't physically there. But we still don't know who the main villain will be of the Batman Part 2 as of now. We know that the second movie will be set in around November, December, the winter time of the year, so we're probably going to get some snow aesthetics onto the film, so that will be very exciting. And just those details probably led a lot of people to think that Mr. Freeze will be the main villain, which would make sense, but I don't know if they'd go with Mr. Freeze on this universe because of the whole grindiness thing that Matt Reeves is going for. So if I were to guess who the main villain will be for the Batman Part 2, I'd say Tommy Elliot, aka Hush. In the comics, he was a big friend of Bruce Wayne before his parents passed away. Just to note, just before his parents passed away. I don't know if this is just Arkham Knight, so I'm not sure. I need to read Batman Hush sometime. But if I remember correctly, after Bruce lost his parents and pretty much became a son to Alfred and basically starting living at the penthouses alone, I think Tommy was in a car crash with his parents that ended up killing his parents. And if Arkham Knight was correct about stuff in the comics, Hush intentionally made that car crash, so basically he killed his parents. So yeah, but that probably would not make sense in this universe. So Hush would make sense for this universe because he was already sort of set up in the first Batman movie, because his father, which was a reporter, I think Jack Elliott, I think that was the name of his father, he was a reporter that got some info about Martha Wayne being, kept at Arkham Asylum multiple times due to previous problems at home. I think his mom killed her dad, I think, something like that. But Thomas Wayne knew about this reporter and spoke to Carmine Falcone to talk to him, threaten him, but Carmine Falcone took that a bit too far and ended up killing this reporter, which happened to be Hush's father. So it would make sense for Hush to go after Bruce and, go after Bruce, threaten to kill him and everything, which that would make sense, because the way that Riddler said it, it would look like Thomas Wayne was responsible and asked Carmine Falcone in order to get the reporter killed, which is probably not the case, but that's still pretty unclear to now. So hopefully in future sequels we get a little more enlightenment on what happened there exactly. But this plot of Penguin running for mayor is not something new to DC projects, since in the Batman Returns film he already ran for mayor. Hopefully in the Batman Part 2 we can see an interrogation scene with both Bruce and Batman, two separate ones, probably asking Oz how he got to that level of power, judging by his past as a club owner and drug dealer. So that'll be very interesting. Now, this is one of the setups that I think is highly possible in, a future spin-off or in the Batman Part 2 or 3, which is Selina Kyle. So in the end, we saw that Penguin sent Sophia once again to Arkham. In one of the final scenes, we saw that the doctor Julian Rush, was delivering Sophia her mail. And one of these cards, I think the last one, which was a black card, was from Selina Kyle. So whatever she said on that card made Sophia happy, but it makes sense because of their connection with them being half sisters. That would make a lot of sense. So maybe in the future spinoff or in the future Batman film, we could see Sophia and Selina teaming up. So that would be very sick. Now, this is the last thing that might be a reach, might not be a reach, but there's only one way to find out, which is Harvey Dent. So in the finale, it was revealed that Bel-Real, which is now the mayor of Gotham, has been working on a task force to basically eliminate any corrupt forces in the police force and in government in general. Basically, from the people of Gotham and in law enforcement. And in the comics, one of the only people that we could see doing, taking part in such an organization would be Harvey Dent. He's an attorney, and normally he's an attorney, but we never know what they might do with him in this universe. But he's like the one guy in Gotham that is actually trying to fight for what's good and basically having the same objectives as Batman, but without the same ways. Batman fights and goes after criminals with his fists, while Harvey takes care of the criminals in courtrooms, which is something that we've seen already in The Dark Knight. So I think it's highly possible that we might see Harvey Dent in this universe. Again, there's only one way to find out, but I think it's possible. I think Matt Reeves knows that we'd like to see Harvey Dent done in a new movie franchise, in live action, obviously. So I think it's definitely possible, but still, we're a couple years away from the Batman Part 2, so that's only one way to find out. So these are just my thoughts on the Penguin and how we might set up the Batman Part 2 and how it will affect the future of Matt Reeves' Batman universe in multiple ways. So what do you think of these theories and stuff, these setups, and are you excited for the future of this Batman world? Thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, ring that notification bell in case you want more of the Batman videos in the future. I'm George. Peace out. Take care.